Hello, and welcome back to Nordic Kitty. And welcome to low-cost video number 3, because unfortunately I missed last one, and the exams literally start next week, so there's a lot of things that are going on in my life aside from this channel that I do need to attend to. So the original plan for today was for me to show off a port of the photoscenery feature for the nightlies to 2020.3, which means that you guys will be able to enjoy the faster performances plus the photoscenery at the same time. Unfortunately, when I tried out the port on my own computer, it didn't work. I found the error message and I sent it to the mailing list, so hopefully in a few weeks' time that will be resolved and things will be more reliable for everyone involved. But in the meantime, we were going to do something else instead. So I'm still on 2020.4, I'm still on the nightly, and one of the things that I actually did as part of preparing for that was that I downloaded the photoscenery for Thailand in my area. So you can see here Mueang Airport textured with satellite textures, including the golf course in the middle of the airport, the famous golf course between the runways right here. Now, to some extent, this is just draping a texture over the terrain, but there's a lot more that goes into it than that. For example, you can see here that the resolution of the textures here is quite low. In fact, you can go higher than this. You can go like 8 times this, I think. Although that will cause problems at other locations later, so I leave it at this resolution for now. But if you zoom in, you can see that FlightGear actually adds some amount of detail to the textures. There's a grass texture that's being mixed in here to make the entire thing look like it has more detail than it actually does. So yeah, it's just not a simple substitution here. And in fact, there's a lot of you can do with the FX framework as long as someone has the know-how and the effort to actually go in and do it, which is the thing with most open source software. So let's hop in and get started. We're actually taking off from 2-1 right today, which is different from the practice. So that's going to be fun. So let's go ahead and start the engines, tune the radios, and get ourselves going. The VORs are actually set to point to a random radio of Bangkok Suvarnabhumi Airport, just in case we need to do this, because our plan for today is to actually fly visually from Mueang over here, following roads to Suvarnabhumi. So this one is going to be fun. Let's get going. Alright. Airspeed alive, 40 knots, 50, and 60. I forgot to look at the windsock, which might be fun. Alright, 70 now. We're going to recenter the controls because it looks like the rudder was off, a little bit offset. Right there. We're going to stay on runway heading for a while before we turn left over to due east and see what this place has to offer. I don't have a head tracker set up today because I'm on the Linux side, which is where I usually do this, and it's the only side where I have the photoscenery set up. Alright, we're at 2 east now. So at this point, I'm going to continue the ascent and hand control over to the autopilot now. We're going to be heading mode at a vertical speed of 1000. And we're also going to be arming altitude at 3,000 feet or so. With the autopilot in control, let's discuss more. Let's take a look at the scenery. Of course, with Thailand being not very well modeled, photoscenery adds a lot of detail and missing buildings like this village over here to the overall look of the place. It also includes making the 2 roads, which we will be using later, really noticeable. That's the Chalong Rat Expressway over there. We will be following that road, and we will be tracking it out of our right window. Usually I like to track things out the front of the nose, but that's not going to work, and that doesn't work really well because you just can't see very far down through the nose. So I just track it through the right window. This thing has just turned right on us, and it's going to meet another road, as Kanchanaburi Road, and we're going to turn right and follow that all the way down to Suvarnabhumi Airport. It should be a 15-minute or so flight. The textures right here are kind of rough and ready, but that's mostly because I downloaded it at the default resolution. I think you can get images at up to 8 times this, but obviously you get diminishing returns. And in this particular case, it will cause a glitch with the Suvarnabhumi Airport later on if I use a higher resolution, which is why I've kept it here for now. Veloren Expressway coming down. We're going to adjust our heading in order to be parallel to the thing. And it should be meeting road soon. In fact, I think that is Route 9, Kanchanaburi Road right here, which we're going to turn right onto. And we also just got to altitude, so I'm going to cut the throttle. Right. I think there's a road junction, and we can turn all the way south there in order to follow that road all the way to Suvarnabhumi Airport. Although I'm going to be short of it for a while, so that the road will still be on the right. That's the road junction we're looking for. This is the Shillong Road Expressway intersecting with Route 9 right here. So we'll just follow that now. I mean, you can't just see from this border right here between the photo scenery right here and the normal scenery right there how much detail and land cover is left out of the dataset that's used by the default scenery. You can also see that the trees have been added to the photo scenery, which further reinforces the point that this is not just an image being drawn over. There's a lot of decorations that take place to make this look nice. And I'm drifting onto a different road here, so let's turn way south from here. As a reminder, that's the road junction, and this is the road we're looking at. This is a different road, different canal, which is probably going to lead us somewhere astray. Having an autopilot is good like this because it's kind of having a second wingman that does all the menial tasks for you while you concentrate on navigation. Central Bangkok should be somewhere that way, and in fact we're actually quite far, so far away that most of the buildings have not loaded. I cannot even see Bayok Tower from here. One more potential inaccuracy is that is what happens when you turn the time to night. For example, let's turn this down to dusk for a moment here. Teleporting through the entire afternoon. And you can see that things just don't, they're just looking too lush or otherwise not correct because these textures are obviously taken during daytime. And they're not going to be adapted to dusk things. So let's turn back now. And we should see Suvarnabhumi Airport out our window sometime pretty soon. In fact, there's Suvarnabhumi Airport right there. Of course, you can follow this down further down if you still can't spot the airport visually, and in fact, you will be able to. In fact, the road you will arrive at the airport through, if you're driving from Central Bangkok, is right over here, pretty close. The airport rail link also follows a similar corridor. Unfortunately, we won't be able to use it here, because it's pretty close, and that will cause us to need to fly past the airport and then back down. We're going to descend at 500 and reduce our speed to 100 or so we can do flaps 1 in preparation for our approach to the airport. We're going to land on 19 left, so this thing right here. So we will see how it goes. And you can see a row of planes over there on Suvarnabhumi Airport. Yeah, the black over here is actually a graphical glitch, but I guess it's nice because it makes this easier to spot. Alright, flaps 2, and the point of the point of manual control is coming up soon. We just flew past a beam 19 right there. I'm just going to wait a little bit more for 19 left. And I think this is about time. So turn off the autopilot. We're going to turn right and go over. Yeah, you can see the glitchy square there that Suvarnabhumi Airport is at. That if I had used the higher resolution photo scenery, that would literally be a black square, which is why I'm using this one, even though it doesn't advertise the best experience. Hello, Suvarnabhumi Airport. Right, so we've trimmed for 60. So let's get the throttle down to a nice value. Because the runway shape, because the point of approach on the runway implies that I'm in the right place, but the poppy is screaming otherwise right now. Alright, coming in. Getting blown all over the place here. Motor threshold, throttle cut, and we'll wait. That's not too good, but I'll accept it. Welcome to Suvarnabhumi Airport, purely visually. And now we need to taxi for yet a while longer because this airport is built for large planes. And small planes like ours aren't going to fare too well. Because we need to wait for that crossover in the middle, right there, that you see. That's actually bi-directional for once. Cons of piloting a Cessna into an airport built for an A380. We're going to vacate the runway and then we'll call it a day. Here we go. That's a bit fast. And over the line. Alright, I'm going to stay within this box here. So that was a visual flight from Mueang to Suvarnabhumi. If you want to play around with photo scenery yourself, a link to the Julia downloader, or the wiki page for it, can be found below in the description. Installing it can be a little bit hairy on Windows, but it should be fine on Mac and Linux. And for Windows, there's always WSL. To use the downloaded photo scenery, unfortunately, as of the writing of this video, you will need to use the nightly. However, in a week's time, you should be able to download the fixed build of 20.3 with the photo scenery feature patched in. And hopefully, it will work this time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Safe flights!